blessings, love. And this is my offering to the divine Scorpio moon energy ball that is available to us all at this time. We practice ceremony and ritual to bring ourselves home every day. And we practice ceremony and ritual to evade ourselves and ignore ourselves and reject our pain. Part of the divine awakening that is happening at this time is the stark awareness there are things in your life that need to change. The people that you have been around your entire life, certain family members, old friends, certain jobs, people that have become too much to handle. Your evolution is calling to you now at this time. Very challenging parts of ascension, awakening, is realizing that you're going to have to make some sacrifices in order to evolve your life. Awakening is not this super blissful, love and light, pieced out, oh my god, it's so amazing, 24/7. That is deep white privilege, and I love it. It's what's causing so much havoc in the mindscape right now. You cannot love and light this way. You carry your love and light into this darkness. Light work is shadow work. And Scorpio moon is not afraid of the dark. And I was born from the womb of a scorpion. I have my own Venus in Scorpio opposing my Taurus moon. And it brings an intensity through me and has been with me through very dark times in this young incarnation, into the depths of degraded self-destruction, addiction, pain beyond pain, addiction to pain, playing with the concepts of pain, into and out of pain, normalizing pain. And that's an interesting part of unwinding out of your own self-harming behaviors, realizing how much we normalize the abuse that we've experienced in our lives. And there is an understanding as to why so many people who are not of color are so triggered right now. Because you've had it so hard too, haven't you? You've had it so hard, so how could any of this be more relevant than my pain? And this is how we've been cultured to feel like we need to compete with each other's pain. Identification is one of the most toxic listening blocks that exist out there. I wasn't aware of this concept until I learned it. And this is what's happening. This is what awakening is. I wasn't aware of this. How does that make you feel? Sometimes feeling certain feelings in a shock trauma kind of way, like shame, guilt, new anxiety, an almost uncontrollable empathy. You know, we can make fun of the spiritual community for feeling like we can tap into the collective grief. You can make fun of that, but there is a truth to this palpable, energetic force field that is blasting your fucking consciousness wide open right now. This is oneness consciousness. there is a war on race that has been going on for thousands of years. And systemic racism is such a deep fucking knot inside of you. It's either been affecting your life or your entire existence, where you feel like you've been underneath somebody else's foot. Epigenetic imprinting. Oppression into suppression causes depression. But Scorpio moon illuminates all of this. There's a clarity. Scorpio moon also illuminates and unearths incredible energy and motion that you didn't even know you could fucking feel. So again, let's roll. Like, what are you really feeling? Have you ever really given yourself the chance to explore that? And I say that deeply for the humans on this planet that identify as male or have deep masculine energy balls and have been taught to suppress the emotional body. It's terrifying to have a few options for emotion, like anger and bitterness, apathy and disgust. But we are multidimensional, infinite, incredible human beings. And some of us are gifted with unbelievable amounts of privilege from birth. And awakening to your privileges means you have to come closer to your emotional body. Guilt and shame and disgust and resentment and horror and terror, they are valid energies in motion. But we as master alchemists use this energy in motion to fuel our desire to rebirth a new earth from within, to educate ourselves. For that is our unifying privilege, the ability to ask questions, to help each other understand, to not constantly expect people of color to educate you, not to peddle your pain onto the other. Your newfound empathy is like your newborn baby that you have to learn to care for. And empathy without boundaries is a toxic soup. You have to learn your boundaries within your own being. And you have to learn when to realize that this story isn't fucking about you. And you have a deeper purpose here. To show up to every disgusting thing that's going on in your life. Especially within your nuclear family. And especially within those family members that you keep quiet for, to keep the peace, even though there's a part of you that's being torn up inside. This is why Scorpio moon also gets a bad rap, because it really shows us where our fucking disgust is. So people that are normally really sweet and caring, quiet, might feel like they want to rip someone's fucking head off in the last few days as we move into the full moon illumination in Sagittarius. The Scorpio shows me that deeper, darker part of my pain, my suppressed pain that causes me to feel like I want to lash out, I want to nitpick and judge you, I want to tear you down, I want to show you all the horrible things that you've done over and over and over, digging into the depths, digging into every memory, connecting every horrible thing and every grief. That's what complex post-traumatic stress does to our brain, though, right? It layers and layers the trauma and everything triggers itself, and the physical body feels chaotic. And we need to get away from this body. That's what they cultured us to do. They cultured us to leave the body. Don't even think about it. Have absolutely no consciousness on your anatomy or physiology or any way of how any part of your body works. Forget about the earth. Forget about your connection to the earth. Forget about your food. Forget about how to grow food or cook food or how long it takes for something to grow from point A to point B. Forget about the medicinal properties of food and herbs. Forget about yourself. Forget about your magic. Buy the things that make you like everyone else. You have just simply forgotten. And shock trauma is helping you remember. What do I do with all of this grief rage? We are calling to ourselves now. We used to have ancestors that we would go sit around the fire with and pour our hearts out to, pour our anguish and our deep feeling, asking for guidance and a transformation, a new perspective. And the deep, dark, disgusting part of colonialism is that they stole culture from all of us. And as a multiracial human being, born of the womb of a brown human being who has experienced racism their entire life, I carry a deep rage and a deep disgust for being born from both the oppressed and the oppressor. And this is an epigenetic imprinting. And we are life's longing for itself come through the darkness. The ancient earth elders reborn into these modern bodies. The white passing woman with a deep grief rage of multiculture is flowing through me. I used to think that I was fucking schizophrenic because there were voices in my mind that told me to do the most insane things to myself, told me the most horrible lies about myself, and I didn't know how to anchor and rise into my being, so I believed everything that my mind taught me and told me. But when we can learn to slow ourselves down, return to consciousness around our ceremony and ritual, and am I practicing my addictions to run away and slowly fade away and forget and continue to sleep? Or am I willing to explore the idea of creating infinite, simple, self-nurturing practices for my body, my mind, my emotions, and my spiritual being as I am? The Scorpio moon is unearthing the deepest, darkest parts of us all. Always and always. The Ouroboros medicine coming back into the heart of the one within us. Place your hand on your third eye in between your eyebrows. Place your hand on your sternum, manubrium, chest bone of the higher heart. And call the solar energy of Gemini and the lunar energy of Scorpio into this body at this time now. Call the light into the pituitary, pineal, and hypothalamus trinity within the being now. The infinite invisible light codes are always available to you. Ask to be awoken, ask to remember, ask to be given the strength and the courage to remember your soul's journey on this earth. You have come to this place for a purpose. It's underneath your pain. It's underneath their pain. It's in the deepest roots. Are you willing to look closer? Are you willing to unearth your own pain and your own complicit darkness and your own ignorance to the racism on this planet, are you willing to grow?